Hello friends and welcome to the sixth part of our series Learning HTML and Learning Website Designing. In our fourth part of the tutorial, we have learned about the form elements. Today we are going to take those form elements to the next level. This section generally comes in under HTML5. So we will learn about form elements which were introduced in HTML5. So let us start it. The start menu. Opening Notepad++. As you know already, we will close this one. A new file is available. We will repeat. Few steps are common in each and every video and each and every file, so we will repeat the same thing. Form elements. Friends, if you have missed out our tutorial for the form elements, so you have to watch our fourth series first, then come back again to this series. I will give the link below in the description box. So if you don't know about form, you have to learn that first. Okay, so we will move ahead. In those tutorials we have first created a form, so we will do the same thing. Then again, form method post. What is post? We discussed it already in that tutorial, which is a part of PHP which we are going to learn in the future. And action, we will give a name of a dummy file. Test or submit.php. Alright. We are not going to study about PHP in this tutorial. We will study about PHP in another tutorial. So, but we need to give a direction where the form will get submitted. So form is closed. Now suppose please enter your phone number. This is our first text. Okay, I will put BR and I will give a input box. So input, as we have studied, type is equal to text. We have studied about type is equal to text. Okay, and then I will give a submit button also below. We have studied about buttons also. There was one button, one reset and one submit. So moving it, input type is equal to submit. And if you have followed our fourth video, you will know what's the difference between button, submit and reset. Okay, so I will save this file with name form name.html. Alright, so we will open this one in the file explorer, already open, available. So I will open this file in the browser. Okay, so here I am having this one. Please enter your phone number. Phone number should always have numbers. So if someone is submitting or inputting alphabets in between, so this should not be allowed. So in order to check it, generally we are having JavaScript for the validation, but HTML5 has provided some features through which keyboards are available, through which only numbers could be submitted. So if you are opening this file in web browser using a computer or laptop, so you will not find any difference. There's one tag we are going to learn here. Since input type is equal to text, but we want to input telephone number, so we will use tel instead of text. This is the new input type which we are going to learn here. But if you will open in a web browser in a computer, using a computer or using a laptop, etc., so you will not find any difference here. See, nothing is happening. You can type alphabet also, you can type number also. But if you open the same file in a mobile device or in a tab or something like that, so whenever you press the input box inside, you start typing, a keyboard appears. So according to our need, if I mention here text, then a keyboard will appear which is having alphabets and numbers. But if I mention tel, then a keyboard will appear which having only numbers and no alphabets are available. So this is the great feature. I will show you the preview in a mobile device, and you will know how it same page how it appears in mobile device. So for that purpose, what we are going to do, we are going to upload this file in a web server. How to upload a file and how to host your website is another topic which we are going to study in our bonus video. Currently I will just submit it directly without explaining to you. I will open my web server. There are many web servers available in the market. Okay, so I will open the URL for it. This is my web server. Already available the login, otherwise it will ask me to log in by providing the username or password, but I will log in it before only. So what I will do, file manager. Right, these things we are going to learn properly in future. So currently I am just uploading the file in the web server. File. There I will drag the file directly. Now our file is uploaded to the web server. We can see here available form new.html. It's available. So how to access this file? This one, my server name is WebOvid. So what I will do, I will keep it open and I will open a web server webovid.com and the name of the file form new.html. Now as you can see here, this file is open through the URL. It's available publicly, globally, all around the world. And here this one is open in the local browser. Okay, so now we are not talking about local browser, we will talk about the web browser. So let it be like this. Now why I have submitted this file in web browser? So that I can access the same file through my mobile. Otherwise it's not easy to access the same file through your mobile. You could directly transfer the file through USB cable in your folder and the file, and you could see the preview, but to show you the example I put directly in the web browser. Okay, so what I will do, now I will open my mobile device and I will open the website in the mobile browser. Okay, so here I have opened the Chrome browser. I will input the URL, same URL here, webovid.com. The file name, complete path, with okay. Now the same file is opened in the web browser. So what we will do, see there's not so much difference available in the computer, laptop and in the mobile device, but the trick is if you click here, you can type whatever you want to type. Okay, but suppose I click in this one input box in the mobile, what keyboard is appearing? It's appearing normal numbers and there's no alphabet available since I mentioned a tel. So what I could do, I could just put the country code or local code and the phone number after that. Alright, then I will enter submit and the form will get submitted. So this is the major difference. Generally these days we are creating website for multiple platforms so that the website is running in mobile devices as well in the computer as well. So we have to keep in mind the mobile devices as well. So it's a great thing. So So now again what I will do, I will change this file, and instead of tel I will write only text. Okay, so you will see the difference. I will upload the file. Here I uploaded the file. Okay, I will replace this file, the older file. Now again, if we see the preview, I will refresh the preview. I refresh the page. Now what form element we have used? We have used text instead of tel. So what I will do, if I click in this one, now QWERTY keyboard is available with all alphabets. So this is the way we can mention. For the web browser there is no big difference, but if the same page is open in a mobile device, you will see that difference, and it's a quite important and useful thing for the users to directly input the particular things instead of keep on changing the keyboards from QWERTY to numbers and like that. So now tel is clear to you, TEL. Now we will mention about email. If I change the keyboard type email, and I will again upload the file. Now again we will refresh the page. As we refresh the page, now the input type is email. As I will click in this one, there is a difference between. Now if you can see in the bottom side, adjacent to the spacebar, you will see there is a @ sign also. So @ sign is provided for writing the emails. So whatever is the email ID, info@gmail.com, like that. So if you mention info, if you mention normal text, then there will be just alphabet, but if you mention email, so there will be a @ sign available. Okay, moving ahead. Another one is URL. Input type URL. Suppose you want your user to submit their website's URL here, so in that case you will mention URL. We will upload the file again. Now if we will see the preview, URL, now where at the position where @ sign was available, now www dot is available near the spacebar. So this is the difference. And suppose I use this www, now .com is available. So google.com. So it's a useful thing if we mention like this the particular type of the input box, then it's quite convenient for the user to type things fast. Okay, so the another type is number. Number is also almost same like tel, but the difference is there's hyphen sign available for the tel. Here hyphen sign may be escape. Okay. Now this keyboard is the number type. See, dash sign available, but it's having a difference with the tel one and the number one. You could compare it later by doing practice yourself. You could transfer file directly to your mobile and you could access the file through file manager. It's not required that you have to upload it in the web browser. I've done it to show you the preview. Alright, moving ahead. Now we are having range selector. So what are the input tabs? I will put in comment what are the new input tabs. Text, then tell, then email, then URL, and the last one is number. Okay, these are few new input text instead of text. These are the replacement for text. Now what I will do, here I was asking the customer to input his phone number. Now suppose I am asking my visitor to input his age also. So I can give a range selector. Range selector is also a useful thing. Type is equal to range. This one range is available for the web browser as well and for the mobile browser as well. So you could access from anywhere. We don't need to upload it again in the web server. So moving ahead, input type is equal to range. We will give the minimum value and the maximum value to be selected inside the range. Suppose I am asking someone to register for my website and the minimum age is 18 and the maximum age is 100 for the registration. Okay, and I will give a default value in which the range selector is selected for temporary. Now on change, this one on change is a JavaScript function which we will learn properly when we are going to learn JavaScript, but for now just remember it like this. And this one I am going to explain. First I will write age display. Age display is the section where we will display the value of the age selected by the user. Value is equal to value. Okay. And now for this range selector we have to make a output where we are going to display the value of the input selected by the user. So age display, this is the name of the ID. Okay, and here I give the value. This ID value is whatever the value given by selected by the user, and age displays the name, and we will close the output. Input doesn't need to close, but output needs to close. Now we will see the preview in our normal browser. This one is the WebOrbit one. Now we will see it in the normal browser. Now for the age, see for the number here we are having a difference. Like this scroller we are having 1 2 3 4 5 and could go for minus also. This is the difference for the web browser and for the mobile device. Now coming down for a query. Okay, this one range selector. Initially it was at 20 by default. Okay, now I can go minimum to the 18 and to the maximum 100. So it's kind of interactive thing. If you want your user to select their age, you could let them select in an interactive way. Okay, moving ahead, I will give some language here. Now there's another thing which is known as progress bar. Suppose we are going progress. Suppose you are going to ask your customer, you want to show the progress of the form submitting. Suppose you are having in section 10%, 20%, 30%, 40% done. If you want to show that status through your progress bar, you could use progress. I will show you the preview first. It will be more clear to you. We will close the online addition. Then we will open here. Now here available the progress bar which is shown at 10. Okay, I can increase the value of this one 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, whatever I want. 50% will be like this. Now 50%. Generally, the value of the progress bar is managed through JavaScript, which we are going to learn in the future. But for now, this is the way how this is the introduction for the HTML5 form element. So that's why we are mentioning this one. So like this, you could manage the progress bar. Alright. The appearance of the progress bar, input box, and the select, this one. Select is different in different browser like Chrome, Safari, etc. So doesn't matter, but they will work in the same way. Okay, moving ahead. Now what we are going to do, we are going to learn about some attributes for the text or the normal input type box. First attribute is known as placeholder. Suppose you want to give some hint here. I will please enter your phone number and we will delete this one. Refresh. Now it's appearing blank. Please enter your phone number. Suppose you want to give some hint inside, so you could add that hint in placeholder. +1 dash. You give a hint in the format. Okay. So now go to we will remove. So whatever is written inside the placeholder, it's appearing in the same way inside the placeholder. This one you can't never delete this one. When you will start writing, the placeholder get disappear, and when you remove all the text, the placeholder appears. So it gives a kind of hint for the user what they are going to submit in the form element. Now sometimes you have seen that, suppose in few browsers you are writing your name inside the input select. Suppose you start writing your name John David is your name, and suppose you start writing JO, then the browser start auto filling the remaining of the name automatically for you for your convenience. So if you want the browser not to auto fill that text automatically, so you could mention here autocomplete. So suppose if you notice that the browser is automatically suggesting the name inside and you don't want to happen due to security reason, you could mention here autocomplete is equal to off. Now suppose you are having 2-3 input box. I will put here. I will remove this one. Okay. Now suppose you are having 2-3 input box. Please enter your phone number. Please enter your email. And please enter your fax number. Suppose we are having now 3 fields here. You are having 3 fields here. Now suppose you want your user to directly cursor get focused on the email section first. If you want your user to fill the email first, so what you could do in that email section, you will add one more attribute which is known as autofocus. So whenever the page is loaded, the cursor will directly come to the email section. I didn't click it. Whenever you will refresh the page, it will automatically come. Even your cursor is in the another field. Whenever you will refresh the field, so cursor will automatically come to the field which is having the autofocus attribute inside. Now suppose if I am making here some spelling mistake. This browser is not showing any spelling mistake for the input box, but few browsers shows the spelling mistake as well. So suppose you are writing your name and it will say that this is a wrong spelling because in the dictionary it's not available the word. So in order If you want spell check to be done or not to be done, for that purpose you will do spell check this also. If you mention true, then whenever you are typing, see red mark is coming bottom, so they will check that whether the user is inputting the data with proper spelling, right spelling, correct spelling or not. Okay, and if you will make it false, then no spell check will be done. In few browsers default is true, in few browsers default is false, so according to your need you could do whatever you want. Now there is no spell check. Okay, now submit query. I will bring this one little bit down. Okay, now suppose you want some fields which are important and in any how you want that data, so you could make it mandatory as well. So whenever you are user, in this case, see, if I submit the button, press the submit button, I didn't mention this one, I didn't mention this one, I didn't mention this one, but I will submit the button, the file will be redirected to the submit.php page and my form will get submitted here. But if I want that computer don't submit the form unless these fields are filled, so for that purpose I could mention required. So I will just put in any one of them in the email section, suppose, or in the name phone number section. If I make it required, so if you will not mention your phone number, you can't submit the form. They will ask, please fill out this field. Okay, so this field has become mandatory. Now if I mention some phone number, if I will submit, now my form is submitted. So this is the thing required field, but this all attributes belongs to modern browser. So if you are using a very old version of Chrome, Firefox, or if you are using Internet Explorer, the older version, so these all attributes will not go. All these attributes are meant for modern browsers. So suppose if you are making your website and you know that your visitors are using older browser as well, so your form will get submitted without the required field is filled by the user. So for that purpose, what you could do, you will use JavaScript to make it mandatory, and how to check whether a field is empty or no using JavaScript we are going to learn in a future tutorial. Okay, moving ahead. Suppose now you want to make this phone number with particular pattern, like if someone is inputting their phone number, it's or mobile number, it's of 10 digit, let us say it's of 10 digit, and there are only numbers, there's no alphabet. So what will happen? Currently in this phone number section, if I am writing alphabet, still it's allowing me to write the alphabet as well, but in phone number there is no alphabet available. For that purpose, what I will do, in the phone number section I can mention the pattern also. So pattern is 0 to 9, so our person will input 0 to 9 only numbers, and then what I will do, I will write in the curly braces that maximum number of field, means only 10 digits should be input. Now again refreshing this one, until I am writing a number, it's not having any problem. But as I see what I have done, I have put some alphabets also, some numbers also. If I will submit, the form is not going to submit because it is saying please match the requested format, and the format you know already, it should contain only the numbers and it should be of 10 digit maximum. So now as I will change, as soon the format is not matching, it will come stay in a red color. As soon as the format is matched, it will become blue and you can submit the form. So this is the way how you could make some validation using HTML5. But again I will warn you, in older browser this HTML5 attributes doesn't work. For those purpose, you should use JavaScript. Okay, but if you are sure that all your visitors are using the modern browser, you could use this attributes without any hesitation. Okay, another one I will use in the email section. Suppose I know email is of maximum 10 digits and should not exceed 10 digit. 10 digit is the word limit for you. So if I give max length, if I mention max length 10, so in the email section when you will type, so 10 is the maximum number you could type. After that your keyboard will stop working on that particular section. Okay, so you have restricted this one to the 10 digits. So max length is the attribute for the to restrict the user to input the number of data. Okay, the last tag what we are going to learn in this one is data list. What is data list? If you remember the select an option field inside the form element inside the our fourth lesson, there's a drop down coming down, and from that you could select the option like January, February, March, whatever you want, as we have learned in the fourth tutorial. In this tutorial also what we are going to learn, suppose you are having the name of the members like branch manager, senior managers, admin section, IT section and all, and you want the email ID to be input automatically through the computer. So what you will do, you will first create a data list and you will give an ID to it. You could give whatever ID you want to give and you will use the data list. Inside that data list you will mention all the options, whatever options you are having. Label will be visible like that only. Suppose you are having an admin section, you will give the value of the email ID admin@xyz.com. Okay, this is your first option. Suppose there are three options in total: admin, IT and support. All are having different email IDs. IT is having it@xyz.com and support@xyz.com. Now we have mentioned a data list. Now you have to attach this data list to a input box. You will give an input type is equal to, since we are going to input the email ID of the user, you will say email. You could say text also directly, doesn't matter. Input type is equal to email and you will mention the list, which list you are going to stick it through this input section. So the name of our list was having department, ID was department, so you will give the name of the list. Okay, now let us see the preview. Here when you will click here, suppose I am going to type admin, so as I will type A only, so admin is available. I can select this one and the email ID will be selected automatically. Again I will remove this one, IT. If I choose IT, I will click IT and automatically the email ID will come. And similarly for support, if I will click on support, automatically the email ID will come. So this is the way how we are going to use data list. We will first mention the data list and then we will attach that data list to our input box. So this is the way how data list is used. So as you can see, we have learned a lot of things in fourth tutorial about form element, and you have seen here also there are few more options are added for the form element in the HTML file, which are also quite useful for us in the future. So I hope you like our video. If you did, then do subscribe our video for sure, so that get in touch with our all latest video coming in our tutorial. We are going to learn after that CSS, JavaScript, and there's whole lot of things we are going to learn in the future. Thank you.